Philippine Sea, October 27, 1944, 2:30 in the afternoon. Your ship has become a coffin, and the men you rescued 2 days ago are about to die beside you. You are a seaman aboard the destroyer Fujinami. 2 days earlier, you survived one of the largest naval battles in human history, the Battle off Samar. You watched battleships burn. You watched the American escort carriers you were sent to destroy slip away through smoke and rain. And when it ended, you didn't feel like you'd won anything. You felt like you'd witnessed something break that could never be repaired. But there was no time to think about that, because a new mission was waiting. Rescue. The heavy cruiser Chōkai had been your fleet's guardian, 13,000 tons of steel and firepower, one of Vice Admiral Kurita's most powerful ships in the center force. During the chaos off Samar, American carrier planes swarmed her. A bomb tore into her engineering spaces. Fires erupted. Her propulsion died. By early afternoon, she was dead in the water, listing, and her captain gave the order every sailor dreads. Abandon ship. Fujinami was ordered to stand by and take survivors aboard. You watched them come over the side, officers, gunners, engineers. Some burned, some whole, all of them hollowed out, hundreds crammed onto your decks. A ship built for 240 men now carried well over 500 souls. Chōkai's captain was the last to leave. He climbed onto Fujinami's deck, turned and watched as scuttling charges sent his ship to the bottom. No ceremony. Just the ocean swallowing 13,000 tons of steel in under 10 minutes. "We'll get you home," a petty officer told one of the survivors. The man said nothing. He just stared at the water where his ship used to be. For 2 days, Fujinami steamed north with what remained of the fleet, carrying the men of Chōkai towards safety. The mood on deck was funeral quiet. Rumors spread like fever. 4 carriers lost at Cape Engano. 3 battleships sunk or crippled. More destroyers and cruisers gone than anyone wanted to count. The Imperial Navy had gambled everything at Leyte Gulf and lost. On the morning of the 27th, Fujinami was detached with orders to transfer the Chōkai survivors to a transport ship, then rejoin the fleet. Routine. Simple. It should have been simple. Aircraft. Bearing 090, low on the horizon. You don't need to see them to know what's coming. You've seen this before. The planes that blacken the sky over Samar, the ones that turned Chōkai into a wreck. Now they're back. And this time, Fujinami is alone. The alarm screams through the hull. Men scramble. The Chōkai survivors, packed onto the deck with nowhere to run, press themselves against railings, trying to disappear into the steel. Your anti-aircraft guns swing skyward. American Avengers, off the carrier USS Essex, closing fast. The first bomb misses a geyser of white water off the port bow. The second doesn't. You feel the hit before you hear it. A violent shudder rips through the hull and throws you against the railing. Somewhere aft, metal screams as it tears. Then human screams join it. The planes bank and come back around. Not bombs this time. Torpedoes. White trails cut through the water like knives aimed straight at you. Fujinami tries to turn, tries to evade, but she's overloaded, sluggish, dragging twice the weight she was built for. The first torpedo strikes amidships. The deck heaves beneath your boots. You're thrown sideways, your skull cracking against steel. When your vision clears, the whole world is tilted. The second torpedo hits near the stern. That's when you know. There's no formal order to abandon ship. There doesn't need to be. She's already dying beneath you. Fujinami rolls hard to starboard, her deck slanting so steep that standing is impossible. Men slide across the steel clawing for anything bolted down. Some make it, others don't. Below decks, the Chōkai survivors are trapped. The hatches are jammed, warped from the blast. Water is pouring in. You hear them pounding on the steel from the inside, fists against a hull that will not open. You grab a hatch wheel and pull until your hands bleed. It won't move. A petty officer grabs your shoulder. "We have to go now." But they're already gone. You don't want to believe him. But the water is rising faster than thought. The deck is past 30 degrees, and if you don't jump now, you never will. You go over the side. The Pacific is colder than you imagined possible. You surface gasping, choking on salt water, and turn just in time to see Fujinami's bow rise out of the sea like a tombstone. She doesn't sink slowly. She doesn't give anyone time to say goodbye. Less than 5 minutes, and she's gone. The suction claws at your legs, dragging you toward the wound in the ocean where your ship used to be. You kick with everything left in you, away from the vortex, away from the men who can't swim, away from screaming that suddenly, horribly stops. When you finally stop kicking, you look around. Maybe 30 heads bob in the water. Maybe fewer. You don't know how many were aboard when she went down. 500, 600 more. It doesn't matter now. Fujinami went down with all hands and with the men of Chōkai she had carried to safety just 2 days before. You are floating alone in the Philippine Sea, and there is rescue coming. Hours pass. The American planes make one final low pass over the debris field, checking their work. You drag a piece of wreckage over your head and go still. They don't fire. Maybe they don't see you. Maybe they see you and simply don't care. Eventually they leave, and you're alone with the ocean. A handful of scattered swimmers too far to reach, and the slow, creeping certainty that you are going to die out here. You don't. Some men are pulled from the water hours later by Japanese ships withdrawing north. Most are not. Fujinami is quartered as lost with all hands. So are the survivors of Chōkai she carried. This was one small piece of the Battle of Leyte Gulf, fought October 23rd through 26, 1944, the largest naval battle in human history. Nearly 200,000 sailors, over 280 ships, 4 major engagements across hundreds of miles of open ocean. Japan had gambled everything on Operation Shogo, a desperate, multi-pronged strike meant to annihilate the American landings at Leyte and sever the invasion of the Philippines. It failed catastrophically. Japan lost 4 aircraft carriers, 3 battleships, including the Musashi, torn apart by an estimated 19 torpedoes and 17 bombs, 10 cruisers, 11 destroyers, and roughly 12,500 sailors. The United States lost a light carrier, 2 escort carriers, 3 destroyers, and roughly 2,800 men. Leyte Gulf didn't just end a battle. It ended the Imperial Japanese Navy as a fighting force. Never again would Japan sortie a major fleet. The war would grind on for nearly another year, but at sea, it was already over. Fujinami's sinking never made headlines. 1 destroyer among dozens lost that autumn. But for the men of Chōkai, survivors of 1 sinking, killed in another just 2 days later, it was a second death sentence. You survived because you happened to be on deck when the planes came, because you jumped at the right second, because the ocean, for reasons of its own, let you live. That's not heroism, that's chance. And in the largest naval battle ever fought, chance was the only thing deciding who came home, and whose name became just another line on a casualty list.